Chosen one, listen closely, because what happened to you wasn't random. It was spiritual chess disguised as casual conversation. Somewhere behind closed doors, someone pulled up a chair at a table they were never meant to sit at and decided to gamble your name like it was pocket change. They rolled your reputation across the table as if heaven wasn't watching. They didn't realize they were playing a game they couldn't afford to lose. You weren't there to defend yourself, and that's what made them bold. It's easy to sound powerful when truth isn't in the room. They thought silence meant weakness, but silence, for the chosen one, is strategy. God doesn't always send you to every battle because sometimes your absence is the weapon. They thought they were planting a small lie to shade your light, but the moment that word left their mouth, the atmosphere shifted. Because truth has ownership, it recognizes its source. And when someone mishandles the name of a person who walks in divine purpose, the universe takes note. Every whisper becomes a receipt. Every false sentence becomes evidence in heaven's court. Picture it. A dim room, casual laughter, words flying like cards across a table. They tried to paint you in colors that never belonged to you. A story too smooth, a tone too rehearsed, an opinion born out of jealousy, not truth. But what they didn't know was that sitting in that same circle was someone with spiritual eyesight, the wrong listener. Someone who doesn't feed on gossip, but listens with discernment. The seed they planted didn't take root in dirt. It landed on holy ground. That one listener caught the shift. They felt the energy tighten when your name was spoken. They noticed how the liar's smile didn't match their words. That person didn't interrupt, they observed. And at that moment, heaven began the reversal. Because when lies enter the ears of someone loyal to truth, exposure becomes inevitable. Chosen one, this is why you felt a strange stirring in your spirit lately, the sense that something unseen was shifting in your favor. You may have felt people pulling back, acting strange, avoiding eye contact. Don't mistake that distance for rejection. It's revelation. The truth is rearranging the table. The same people who once entertained the lie are now replaying the conversation and realizing something doesn't add up. They see you living clean, walking tall, speaking peace. Your life doesn't match the rumor. Your energy doesn't fit the accusation. That dissonance is the sound of justice being served. What they tried to use to bury you has become the very shovel digging their own pit. That's divine irony, when evil intentions become the evidence of one's downfall. The universe is a fair accountant. It always balances the ledger. And when your name carries truth, no amount of slander can bankrupt it. So don't chase explanations. Don't beg to be understood. The same mouths that disrespected you will soon carry your testimony. The same table that mocked you will remember your integrity. Let them talk, you're already vindicated. When heaven sits you at the next table, the seats will be sacred, the air will be clear, and the only conversations spoken about you will be blessings. Because when a chosen one is lied on, God doesn't just defend your name, He upgrades your seat. Chosen one, betrayal never begins with a blade. It starts with a whisper. And the one who whispered your name in the wrong spirit didn't realize they were signing up for heaven's exam. Every relationship, every conversation, every hidden motive is a classroom in disguise. You didn't know a test was being given, and neither did they, but the moment your name left their lips, the grading began. This was never about gossip. It was about character. The universe designed that moment to reveal what was truly inside them. You were placed in their path as a mirror, not a threat. Your humility, your patience, your quiet strength, it all unsettled what was unhealed within them. They could have honored your name when you weren't around. They could have spoken truth when no one was watching. But integrity is proven in private, and they failed the open book test of loyalty. At first, they thought it was harmless, a little exaggeration, a small twist, something to win sympathy or attention. But every dishonest word was a question on the exam, and every answer revealed insecurity. They didn't realize heaven was listening, taking notes. Because when you are chosen, your name carries a frequency that registers in spiritual realms. Anyone who misuses it exposes themselves under divine light. The test was simple. Would they protect what was pure or perform for approval? Instead of choosing honor, they chose ego. Instead of truth, they chose control. They forgot that God observes how people treat his chosen ones, especially when there's nothing to gain from kindness. Their actions wrote their own report card full of red marks, full of missed opportunities. And here's the plot twist. The test wasn't for you, it was for them. You were never being evaluated for perfection. You were the measuring stick of their integrity. Your presence brought accountability. Your silence created contrast. The moment they chose deceit, they failed themselves, not you. Now they avoid you because your peace reminds them of what they forfeited. Your calm exposes their chaos. Your continued success highlights the wisdom they ignored. They sense judgment in your silence, but it's not judgment, it's reflection. They're staring at the consequence of their own choice. So, what do you do, chosen one? You stay consistent. You keep walking in grace. You let the universe reveal the lesson. Because when God sets an exam, he also sets the curve. The same people who watched you get misjudged will soon see the truth, curve everything back in your favor. Remember this. The test was never meant to break you. It was meant to prove you were unbreakable. You passed by doing nothing wrong. They failed by trying too hard to seem right. Now the exam is over, and heaven has issued its grades, promotion for you, conviction for them. Stay humble, stay steady, and keep your eyes forward. The real reward of passing a hidden test is peace that can't be faked and favor that can't be taken. Chosen one, every lie ever told about you carried an expiration date. Time is not your enemy, it's your evidence. When they spoke against you, the universe didn't rush to defend you. It simply pressed record. Heaven doesn't panic, it archives. And over time, truth begins to echo, louder and louder, until every false word loses its shape. You see, lies are loud in the beginning. They rush to fill silence with noise. They crave reaction. But truth is patient. It doesn't chase attention, it waits for alignment. And when the right season arrives, truth walks into the room wearing your face. That's what the echo test is. Time replaying every moment until the frequencies separate noise from melody, rumor from revelation. The same words that once distorted your image are now circling back, sounding hollow and off-key. Why? Because your life no longer fits their story. You kept showing up with grace. You kept producing fruit. You kept staying still while heaven adjusted the volume. They thought you forgot. They thought silence meant defeat. But silence was the setup for their exposure. Every act of integrity you displayed sent another wave into the atmosphere, proof, vibration, witness, and eventually the echoes collided. Now the ones who once believed the gossip are hearing the dissonance for themselves. They can't unhear the contrast between your peace and the liar's chaos. The same people who entertained falsehoods are quietly rewriting their opinions. Without you saying a word, their spirit knows. The energy doesn't match. The math doesn't math. The lie no longer sounds believable because your consistency has changed the frequency. That's how time works for the chosen. It doesn't just heal wounds, it exposes deception. It separates impulse from intention. It forces every voice to echo back its own vibration. And while the liar's voice fades, your truth begins to hum louder, steady, radiant, unstoppable. Don't miss this. The echo isn't punishment, it's purification. God allows time to play the recording until everyone hears the difference between counterfeit and real. That's why you don't have to prove anything. The more you live, the more the lie collapses under its own weight. And here's the beauty. The very person who once carried that rumor is now haunted by its sound. They hear your name in conversations, on blessings, in testimonies, and every time, the vibration of truth hurts their ears. The lie they once owned now owns them. So let time keep working. Let silence keep echoing. Truth doesn't need defense. It only needs endurance. Chosen one, you are walking evidence that patience wins what pride forfeits. Time is amplifying your vindication. The same whispers that once hurt you will soon repeat your healing, and every echo will end with the same undeniable note. You were never the problem. You were the proof. Chosen one. Every word ever spoken about you became currency in the unseen world. When they used your name to buy attention, they entered the reputation economy, a spiritual marketplace where truth holds its value and lies lose theirs overnight. What they thought was clever manipulation was actually a bad investment, and now the bill has come due. Lies always promise instant profit, a spark of sympathy, a moment of control, an illusion of power. But truth compounds quietly, gaining interest over time. When someone spends your name carelessly, they take out a loan on their own integrity. And once heaven audits the balance, every false sentence becomes a debt that must be repaid with isolation, loss, and regret. They didn't realize how expensive deceit is. The moment they traded your reputation for approval, they mortgaged their credibility. They thought it was free, just a few twisted words, just a story to fit their narrative. But in the realm of spirit, truth keeps receipts. Every dishonest word lowers their spiritual credit score. Every rumor told cuts their access to grace, trust, and favor. Meanwhile, God adjusted the accounts. Quietly, invisibly, powerfully, He began transferring opportunities, relationships, and open doors away from the liar and toward you. Meetings that once favored them began to favor you. People who once doubted you began to discern your light. Even those who listened to the lie started feeling an unexplainable pull toward your energy. That's divine reallocation, the universe correcting the imbalance. The liar now feels it. Their texts go unanswered. Their calls don't return the same warmth. The room that once welcomed them suddenly feels colder. They can't explain it, but you can. They're experiencing spiritual inflation. Their words no longer buy them trust. They spent it all. Chosen one, this is why you don't have to chase vindication. Integrity will always outperform influence. You're operating in a different market, heaven's economy, where obedience multiplies and authenticity appreciates in value. The more you stay aligned, the more divine capital flows toward you. Understand this. When God promotes you, He also protects His investment. He removes liabilities from your circle. That's not rejection, it's risk management. You are heaven's asset, and He will not let gossip devalue what He's building in you. So let them sit in the silence of their own consequence. Don't lend them your energy trying to explain what time will reveal. Every seed of deceit they planted now grows weeds in their own field, not yours. And every good seed you sowed in patience will bloom right on schedule. This is the law of the reputation economy. Integrity gains interest. Deception collects debt. And when heaven does the accounting, truth always ends up in surplus. Chosen one, walk boldly in that truth. Your credibility was never lost, it was accruing. Your name didn't depreciate, it was being upgraded. Let the liar feel the freeze of spiritual bankruptcy while you rise in divine abundance. Chosen one, your presence has become the verdict. You don't need to speak, you don't need to explain. The truth moves through you, like light through glass, clear, unforced, undeniable. That's why they avoid your eyes now. Your very existence contradicts every lie they built in secret. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Conversations pause. Energy rearranges. It's not arrogance. It's resonance. Truth has a frequency, and yours hums too loud for deception to stay comfortable. The same mouths that once distorted your name can't meet your gaze because your peace exposes their pretense. Your silence feels like a spotlight they can't escape. They tell themselves they're keeping their distance to protect their peace. But the truth is, your energy mirrors what they tried to bury. They see in you the honesty they lost, the strength they faked, the purity they couldn't imitate. That's why their words falter when you appear. Every false sentence they spoke starts to echo in their own mind. Their lie can't survive in your light. It evaporates the second your spirit enters the room. You are not the accuser. You're the evidence. God made your aura magnetic to truth and allergic to deceit. Those who walk in integrity feel peace around you. Those who don't feel pressure. It's the presence effect, the natural reaction when divine alignment meets counterfeit energy. They can't perform around you anymore because the stage lights have changed. You carry discernment now, and it reveals everything without you trying. That's why your silence is sacred. It doesn't just protect your peace, it preaches. Without raising your voice, you testify that character still matters, that purity still speaks, that peace is still power. Your stillness declares what arguments can't. That truth doesn't chase lies, it outlives them. So don't shrink your energy to make others comfortable. You earned this aura through prayer, pain, and patience. It's the fragrance of someone who's been refined by betrayal and purified by grace. When people avoid you now, it's not rejection, it's reflection. They're seeing themselves, and they can't handle the view. Chosen one, your glow is not decoration, it's revelation. It shows who's real and who's rehearsed. You carry spiritual clarity, and that clarity convicts those who built comfort in confusion. That's why they flinch when you smile, why they stumble over simple greetings. Your peace sounds like thunder in the ears of guilt. Remember this, you don't have to defend what radiates truth. Just keep walking in it. Let your presence speak, the verdict heaven already wrote. Because for a chosen one, silence isn't emptiness, it's evidence. And every time you show up, the lie loses oxygen. Your calm is their conviction. Your presence is their mirror. And your light, still steady, still sacred, is proof that truth always wins. Chosen one, every time someone lies about you, heaven assigns a witness. You may never see it happening, but discernment always finds its way into the right ears. That's how divine justice works. It doesn't need headlines, it needs alignment. The person they chose to poison against you was not random. That was a test for both of them. And the one who listened had sharper eyes than the liar expected. They thought they were spreading darkness in secret, whispering carefully, wrapping jealousy in gentle tones. But discernment doesn't just hear words, it feels vibration. The moment they spoke your name, the energy shifted. The listener caught it. Something felt off. The story didn't flow right. The tone didn't match the message. The spirit behind the words didn't carry truth. And instead of being persuaded, the listener became aware. That awareness is your discernment shield, an invisible layer of divine protection that activates the moment someone tries to damage your character. The person they tried to turn against you became a quiet observer, a secret ally, even a guardian of your name. They didn't need to confront the liar. They simply watched. And as they watched, they saw the cracks form, the inconsistencies, the bitterness, the envy hiding beneath politeness. Over time, the truth revealed itself. The same listener who once entertained the conversation now sees clearly who's authentic and who's acting. They see how you carry yourself with calm when attacked, how you keep your peace when others would fight, how you keep sowing light while others throw shade. That's what converts observers into protectors. Heaven works quietly like that, turning witnesses into warriors without you lifting a finger. You might not even know who's been defending your name behind the scenes. Someone may have shut down a rumor you never heard, corrected a lie before it spread, or spoke favor in rooms you've never entered. That's your discernment shield in action, unseen loyalty born out of divine insight. The liar feels it too. They can't pinpoint what changed, but the warmth they once had is gone. The person they manipulated now greets them with distance. The conversations feel shallow. The laughter feels forced. That's the consequence of deception. Discernment withdraws affection. Chosen one. This is why you never need to chase rumors or clear your name. When God places a shield around you, it's not made of metal, it's made of truth. And truth never rusts. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It gets stronger with time. So stay still. Let your integrity keep speaking while your angels keep guarding. Trust that every false narrative told about you is already being intercepted by someone who sees through the fog. You don't need to fight for visibility when heaven has already assigned you representation. Your reputation is not defenseless. It is divinely protected. And the next time someone tries to twist your story, remember this. They may start the conversation, but discernment ends it. Chosen one. The cruel thing about lying is that it builds its own walls. They thought they were crafting a clever story, one that would make them look like the victim and you the villain. But every lie has structure, and theirs became a prison. The more they spoke, the tighter the bars closed around them. At first it felt like freedom. They loved the attention. People nodded, sympathized, offered comfort. For a moment their ego was fed, their insecurity soothed. But deception is expensive to maintain. Lies need constant upkeep, new stories, new emotions, new performances. Soon, the weight of pretending became too heavy to carry. Every time someone mentioned your name, they had to remember which version of the lie they told. Every question became a trap. Every detail, a potential crack in their performance. You didn't have to expose them. The truth did it for you, slowly, naturally, inevitably. Because truth doesn't chase, it reveals. Their words began turning against them. People noticed inconsistencies, sensed tension, felt unease. What was once believable began to sound forced. The same lips that spoke against you started trembling at the thought of being questioned. Now they live in quiet paranoia. They wonder who knows what. They replay conversations in their mind, worried that the wrong phrase slipped out, that someone saw through them. They avoid you, not because they hate you, but because your peace reminds them of their chaos. Your calm is the mirror that shows them what they became. They can't face you without facing themselves. That's the sentence they serve. Every day they pretend nothing happened, but their spirit knows the truth is stalking them. Every smile they fake feels heavier. Every compliment they receive feels unearned. The mask no longer fits, and they can't take it off without confessing. Chosen one, understand this. You didn't curse them, they cursed themselves. The prison they sit in wasn't built by your revenge, but by their own guilt. You didn't close the door. They locked it when they chose deceit over honesty. Now you walk free light, focused, unbothered, and they sit in the shadows of their own story, watching you shine from a distance they created. That's divine justice, not revenge, but revelation. So don't waste compassion trying to rescue them. That lesson belongs to them, not you. The walls around them aren't punishment, they're reflection. One day, when they're ready to face the truth, those walls will fall. But until then, let them learn that falsehood always imprisons the one who speaks it. Because freedom belongs to the honest, and you, chosen one, were never the one behind bars. Chosen one, you don't need to explain yourself anymore, your life already did. You've become the living receipt that heaven holds up to the world as evidence that truth always survives the storm. Every breath you take, every peaceful smile you wear, every new blessing that enters your life, it all screams one undeniable fact. The lies didn't win. They tried to make your silence look like guilt, your humility look like weakness, and your isolation look like exile. But God, turned it all into proof. While they whispered, you built. While they doubted, you healed. While they performed, you transformed. Now the same people who once believed the rumor can see with their own eyes that the math doesn't add up. How could someone supposedly broken still be standing stronger than ever? How could someone fake carry such consistent grace? That's the beauty of divine timing. Truth doesn't need defense, it needs endurance. And because you didn't fight dirty, heaven made sure your growth became your evidence. Every breakthrough, every opportunity, every act of favor on your life became a testimony written in bold letters. You are the contradiction to every accusation. They thought the lie would define you. Instead, it refined you. They thought gossip would block your name from good rooms. Instead, your name became a key that opens better ones. Because when God vindicates a chosen one, he doesn't do it in whispers, he does it in public. Quietly at first, then undeniably. The same people who were convinced by falsehoods now feel the sting of realization. They see your progress, your composure, your kindness, and it exposes their mistake. The liar, once confident, now hides in the corner of your success story. Every compliment you receive, every new connection you make, every moment of peace you embody, it's like a spotlight shining on the truth they tried to bury. And it hurts them, because the one thing they never expected was for you to rise with no bitterness in your heart. Your peace is the loudest apology they'll never say. Your success is the courtroom where judgment has already been passed. Chosen one, this is why God told you to keep quiet. Vindication wasn't meant to come from your words. It was meant to come from your witness. You are walking, breathing evidence that integrity outlasts manipulation. The lie aged and spoiled, but your truth stayed fresh. The same people who questioned your silence are now praising your strength. So keep glowing, keep winning quietly, keep letting the results do the talking. Because nothing terrifies a liar more than the person they lied about continuing to rise. You didn't just survive their attack, you turned it into your testimony. You are the living receipt, stamped by grace, signed by truth, and sealed by divine favor. And your life will keep reminding them of one eternal law. What's built on lies will always collapse before the one who was built on truth. Chosen one, separation is never random. When people fall away, it's not rejection, it's divine organization. You didn't lose them. Heaven released them. Every distance, every silence, every unexplained withdrawal is part of a spiritual filtration system designed to protect your peace and preserve your purpose. What feels like isolation is often elevation. Those who lied about you weren't just gossiping, they were signing their own exit papers. The moment they misused your name, heaven began to rearrange proximity. God doesn't allow deception to share the same table with destiny. And so, without a fight, without an argument, he quietly drew a line in the sand and said, "No further." The separation wasn't punishment, it was protection. Look around, chosen one. Notice how lighter the air feels now. That's what spiritual clarity does. The noise fades, the distractions dissolve. The energy around you sharpens into focus. Because when God decides to shield his anointed, he doesn't always send thunder sometimes. He simply closes the door. You won't have to slam it. It'll just stop opening. They may call you distant, detached, changed. Let them. They don't understand that your spirit outgrew environments where your name was mishandled. You're no longer available for small talk soaked in envy or conversations rooted in confusion. The old circle couldn't hold the new version of you. That's divine math, subtraction before multiplication. Understand this. God separates before he elevates. Every promotion requires privacy. Every revelation requires quiet. And every chosen one must walk through the sacred corridor of divine disconnection before stepping into their next assignment. It's not personal, it's prophetic. Meanwhile, Those who lied are learning their own lesson. They stand on the outside of your peace, watching from a distance they created. The access they once had is gone, not because you blocked them, but because heaven revoked the pass. They can see your rise, but they can't touch it. They can witness your blessings, but they can't benefit from them. That's the price of dishonor. And yet, here's the beauty of divine separation. It never ends in bitterness. You don't have to curse them or expose them. God already did the sorting. Your only task now is to stay in alignment. Keep your heart pure. Keep your focus forward. Let peace be your proof that the separation was sacred. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. You were never meant to fit where lies were allowed to live. You were never supposed to share space with energies that can't handle your truth. You've been repositioned, not rejected, set apart, not set aside. So stand tall in the new season. The silence around you isn't emptiness, it's incubation. Heaven is preparing new connections, higher tables, and authentic alliances built on truth. The next room you enter won't require explanation. Your spirit will be understood instantly. And when you look back, you'll realize that what felt like loss was simply divine separation, God removing what couldn't go where you're destined to arrive. Chosen one, breathe easy. The pruning was proof of your protection. The isolation was your invitation. And the distance, that was heaven's final act of defense before your breakthrough. If this message confirmed something deep within you, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and share it with another chosen one who's walking through divine separation right now. Leave a comment declaring, "I'm ready for divine alignment and heavenly protection." Your words have power. Your declaration sends light forward. Together, we're building a community where truth reigns, peace rules, and every lie that once tried to define you becomes your testimony. And when you look back, you'll realize that what felt like loss was simply divine separation. God removing what couldn't go where you're destined to arrive. Chosen one, breathe easy. The pruning was proof of your protection. The isolation was your invitation. And the distance? That was heaven's final act of defense before your breakthrough.